Happy Feet 2 in 3D. Now, during this movie, especially at the start, I found myself doing something I've never done before. I kept moving myself closer to the TV in a weird attempt to get the image to feel closer. I found the presentation pushed into the screen a little further than I wanted it to be. And it seemed to be mainly an issue when you're above water with the penguins, but that was the bulk of the movie. The 3D in this movie is very light, which is typical for a lot of titles that came out at the start of the 3D era. And this is at the very start, being from 2006. Though it does have its moments. Occasionally you'll get some close-up, or the birds, or these krills, which are kind of like shrimps. They always pushed out and are often surrounded by lots of little extras to see. From a 3D perspective, the krills really make this worthwhile. These are just fantastic shots whenever we're underwater with them. Now, aside from that, you're kind of left wondering why in a mostly animated movie they wouldn't do more with the stereo. My guess is they made the mistake of trying to emulate what it would look like in the real world. Well, the real world's kind of boring, so thanks for that. Really need more of that real world. This was made by George Miller, who also brought us Mad Max. And I was surprised to find this had a few similar motifs that we would later see in Fury Road. Doesn't this guy look like the Heavy from Fury Road? There's even a guy blazing an electric guitar in the middle of nowhere. And the storyline with the krill I found very similar to the motivations of Furiosa. It just seemed to follow a very similar arc. There's a break from the clan to seek out a hope, but it's ultimately through the death of that hope that change is made. I almost wondered at times if this was a rough draft for Mad Max. Also, like Mad Max, the movie is full of themes about blind faith and mind over matter. I've often been troubled by the power of psychics. If someone tells you they see the future, it doesn't matter if they do or don't. Whatever comes out of their mouth is going to haunt and influence your decisions, possibly for the rest of your life. Very dangerous thing to entertain that sort of stuff. That little belief subplot here reminded me of a British TV show I once saw, where this illusionist, Darren Brown, I believe, was guessing the correct winners of a series of horse races. The setup was he was giving this information to a random volunteer from the public who was able to profit off it, and each race the person was encouraged to bet more and more until it reached an enormous life-changing sum of money. The trick being a TV show with a bit of a budget, they started with thousands of volunteers and just covered the losses and apologized to the losers, and only filmed the one person who happened to be the only one getting all the right guesses. What struck me was that by the end, this hapless, probably unlucky person, who at that moment was borrowing every dollar they could get their hands on for that big final bet, I noticed they started to express all that sort of believe it and receive it type stuff that you'd get out of, say, the Think and Grow Rich book or that secret movie series. And this movie opens with a lot of singing and dancing, but there's an ominous rumble in the distance, the feeling that disaster is coming while everyone remains content to ignore and remain in their bliss. And then once disaster hits, there's a faith that holding on to the bliss can save them, at least by one penguin. And it's funny, the movie is largely about the failure of belief, yet it is the power of that belief that leads everyone to rally behind a solution. So what did we learn? Belief is stupid, yet it's the only thing that can save us.